What up? What up? All right. What's going on, guys? All right. Sorry about that. We had some Wi-Fi issues, some internet issues, but we are here. All right. So I hope everyone is doing great. Thank you as you come on. I hope you had a great week. I hope that you've actually went out there this week and done some of the stuff that we talked about last week, and that you're actually like really taking action on this challenge. Because guys, like, I'm being dead serious. Like, I want to see you get to $10,000. And I want to fly you out here. I want to meet you. I want to help somebody build a business plan and go out there and be able to crush it. All right. So that is why I'm doing this. And I want to see you guys be successful. All right. So, all right, let's kick it off. Okay. Da, da, da. And actually, let me mess with this a little bit. All right. A little bit better. Okay. So let's get going. Okay. Kick it off. So what we talked about last time is obviously the beginning stages of going out, trying to find a deal, really, how to go out, pull a list, start contacting sellers, how to generate interest, and then getting to an appointment set, right? So now we're going to talk about what it looks like to actually go to an appointment with a seller, some of the strategies that we use, right? I never really talk about some of this stuff, in detail, right? Because some of it is literally proprietary to our business. And we've gotten great results for a very long time of doing some of these things. And most of the time, anytime I've ever gone into detail about some of this stuff was at the intensives where people have paid $2,000 to be in that room and sit in a seat to hear this stuff. All right, so let's just start by going over some of what so we talked about value proposition last time, right? But I just want to elaborate a little bit more on with the appointment, some of the things that you need to keep in mind, as you are going. Some of this is going to seem a little elementary, but to some of you that aren't in the business every day, this will definitely be helpful in things that you need to know. You're going to be creating custom solutions for each seller. All right. It isn't about just going out there, making an offer to buy it, about the price. We are not making it about the price. We are making it about solving the problem that the seller has, because if they are willing to let you come to their house, you can almost guarantee there is something going on, some type of motivation, and some reason why they are willing to let you come out. People typically, unless they're really an elderly person that is really bored, has no family left or something like that. I've seen that where they'll just, call you to come out, but they really have no interest in selling. But for the most part, the majority of people that allow you to come to their house have motivation, whether or not they just straight up disclose that to you or not. So keep that in the back of your mind. Okay. Taking care of the neighbors when you're purchasing a property. A lot of sellers, if you understand some of personality types, there's what you call a social conscious personality, right? This person cares about what happens with the neighborhood, with that house. Are you going to disrupt neighbors? Are you going to bring the value up in the neighborhood? Are you going to do anything that is going to, disrupt or harm the neighborhood in any kind of way? A social conscious person cares about what the neighbors think, stuff like that, right? So keep that in mind. Make sure that they understand that you are here to help the neighborhood, that you're not here to do anything other than bring the value up. Obviously, you need to make money, but make sure that you're always letting people know that you are here to help and you're here to add value. All right. They don't need to attend the closing. Make sure you know this as well, because most title companies can send docs out. This is a common question that you're going to get from a lot of sellers. They don't need to be here. okay, or wherever the closing is taking place. They can notarize, go to a local bank, somewhere that can notarize documents, and they can literally send docs overnight back to you. And most title companies will actually send docs in a prepaid envelope to come back. They can sign it, send it back. They don't need to physically be wherever the property is, wherever the closing is taking place. All right. So make sure that you use a local title company or attorney, depending on your state, that has a great reputation. Okay, so this is important. This is going to help with your credibility dealing with the seller. All right, like a lot of the times the seller's going to ask, oh, well, where do you close? Like, where is this going to close? And it helps you and boost your credibility, especially you being someone that's new, right? If you don't have a lot of reviews online, you don't have a lot of stuff going on online, and you're brand new, maybe you don't even have a website yet, that is going to help you greatly. Okay. So there's credibility there where they can look that company up, see that they have good reviews, see that they're a good, honest company. And then guess what? That's going to translate back to you some of that credibility. All right. So we like to be a part of the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to do that if you don't want, especially starting out. I'm not suggesting that, you go straight into like signing up for $50 a month or whatever, but keep this in mind as you start doing deals, as you start growing, and you're building out like your company, your credibility, your website, all that stuff. It's great to be a part of the Better Business Bureau. It is going to help you with the older demographic, which is the majority of the people that we do deals with. Okay. So let me see here. Let me get back in. First impressions are everything, guys. So from the moment that you get that person on the phone or that person calls you, whether it's inbound or outbound, whatever it is, first impressions really matter, okay? And especially at the appointment. All right. So we're going to go into some of the stuff that you need to be mindful of when you're going to the appointment. But first impressions, guys, it makes a difference. All right. So we're going to set appointments for medium, high, and low probability leads, right? So meaning like if we're on the fence on, for whatever reason, we're not quite sure, we're going to that appointment anyway. If it's, someone that really is like, yeah, I'm not really sure, you can come out, give me an offer, whatever, we're going to those appointments as well. And of course, the high probability, which are the ones that are screaming, hey, I'm motivated, I want to sell. Of course, we're going to those as well. But guys, like when you're starting out, it is very important that you go to all of them. Anyone that, allows you to come to their house, you should be going. All right. This is experience. You're learning. You're learning how to build rapport. You're sharpening your skills. You're getting experience meeting with people, talking about what you do. Right. So all this stuff is very, very helpful and it will make a difference long term. So go to appointments if people will let you. All right. No matter if you're confident one way or the other, just go to it. Guys, get some experience. Okay. So low probability leads can turn into some of your biggest deals. And I'll show you an example right now. Okay. Of what that looks like. So here's which you can't see, but I'm going to talk about it. There was a seller lead that came in through our website. Seller won $415,000, which was full retail. Okay. Full retail for the property. So we went to that appointment, put it under contract for $300,000, which she said when we were on the phone with her, I even listened to the call. She said, I am not taking a penny below $415,000. I had it listed for $415,000. I had it under contract. It did fall through, but I'm still not taking a penny less than $415,000. We go there. We locked it up for $300,000. And that was obviously $115,000 less than she said she would take for it. Now, you being someone brand new and you heard this on the phone, okay? Like, I'm not taking a penny on $415,000. Let's just say that you have REI Automator and you pulled up Offer Automator and you run it through and you're like, okay, so it shows I can sell for this much to a cash buyer, shows that my max allowable offer is this much. I probably shouldn't even go to this. She's just not motivated. But guess what? We go to those appointments, and here's a classic example of what can happen if you go, right? Because she opened up when we got there. Being face-to-face with somebody can change a lot, guys. Looking someone in the eye and having a real conversation with them about what's going on, how you can help them, people will start to open up, okay? You got to be patient. We wholesaled that property for $320. We netted $16,564.25. All right, so that's an extra $15,000 that if you were someone that wouldn't have went to that appointment, that you could have made. So you guys, you people that are brand new doing this is great info for you. All right, that you should really be paying attention to. This next one is going to blow your mind. Okay. So here's a property. It's funny. So we bought, there was a flood during the hurricanes. This entire street flooded. All right. In this one neighborhood in one of our markets, right? The entire street. We bought 4 houses on this street, and a lot of them came from referrals. We would buy one of the properties. They would refer us to one of the neighbors that wanted to sell, so on and so forth. We ended up buying 4 of these properties on this street. It wasn't that big of a street. Okay, so it came in through PPC, Google, all right, pay-per-click, had flood damage from the hurricane at the time. So get this. The seller brought $50,000 to closing, okay? $50,000, all right? So he owed I believe it was $80,000 or something like that. $87,000 is what he owed. We were buying properties typically on that street at the time. I think he was the 3rd one that we bought. We were buying him for $35,000, $40,000. So we actually got him under contract for $37,000. And we wholesaled it for $60,000, and we netted $22,289.90. All right, at closing. That's what we made. How many of you, when let's just say you have REI Automator or you don't, and then you're pulling your comps, all right, and you got this lead coming in, all right, and it said that he owed $87,000. You know that you could not pay anywhere close to that. What would you have done with that lead? Knowing that needs a ton of work, there wasn't really too much of an option for a creative strategy because all the work that was needed, the flood damage. What would you have done with that lead? All right. You would have probably, what the majority of people say is you would have just probably put it to the side, took it out of your list, opted it out, or not done anything with it. We go to that appointment, we lock it up. You would have never thought that the seller would actually be willing to bring $50,000 to closing to sell that property. But it happens, guys. I promise you it happens. And these are the kind of deals that most of the newer people will miss because not a lot of people are teaching this and really talking about going in depth on the actual leads like this and what they do with them, right? But the truth is there's a lot of money in those type of leads, all right? Not saying everyone is going to convert and that's going to happen every single time, but if you're consistent in working those types of leads, you will pick some out every once in a while that are huge, right? So that are big deals. All right, moving on. So, we basically have a lead coordinator. We really have 2 that handles all the inbound calls and sets the appointment for our sales guys. I'm not going to get too much into, all that because a lot of you guys are new right now. But we always like to send a confirmation, all right, for the appointment. We book an appointment. We like confirming with the seller. It just shows a level of professionalism, all right? Not as many people are doing it. So you stand out, right? Because that's the thing. You're playing a game that you're trying to stand out amongst the competition, all right? There's so many people out here trying to do this, right? So how do you show that you are the better option, that you're more professional, you're the best company for them to deal with? Little things like this make all the difference in the world, guys. It accumulates all these little things that you're doing and makes the difference to the seller, right? So always send a text or an email confirmation after you book the appointment with the seller, letting them know, hey, Mr. Seller, it's great speaking to you. I just want to confirm we have so-and-so time and date in the books to come out and meet with you. This is what you can look forward to happening at that appointment. And I can't wait to see you soon. If you have any questions, please feel free to call or email me at yada, yada, yada. Okay. So do that. That makes a difference. So preparing for the appointment. All right. So you're going to create your max allowable, all right, offer, and you're going to create your, your goal target, right? Based on the amount of profit that you want. So we use every single day for every appointment we go to, we use the offer automator feature and REI automator. It's how we do it. We run it through there so we can see what we can sell it to a cash buyer for, what our goal target is, what our max allowable is. All right. So that's how we come up with those numbers. And it's literally, we put it in there, run it through. That's how we come up with it. You want to make sure that you print 2 copies of the contract to bring with you. So I suggest for you, all of you that are brand new, don't worry about going out there creating these big credibility kits yet. Like, you're new, just get you some simple folders, right, from Staples, Office Depot, whatever. 2 copies of the contract. You need to be able to leave a contract with the seller, okay? That is tangible. They actually feel like they have sold the property now. They have a contract that's signed. Many people make this mistake. They go to the appointment, they get the contract signed, they say, okay, great, Mr. Seller. They don't leave anything there. We're going to scan you a copy, email it over to you later, so on and so forth. Well, guess what? If they have an appointment scheduled an hour later after you leave, and, some people are like this, right? Some people are just like this, and they don't have something tangible that, in their mind, they know they signed something, but, they don't have it. They don't have a signed copy of it. Some people can feel like it didn't really happen or it isn't real. They're already skeptical of selling their house for cash to a home buyer, right? So make sure, as simple as this seems, guys, that you do this. It will really help you in preventing, people trying to back out or go and sign another contracts with other people. 2 copies of the contract. Make sure we use REI Automator. Print out your CMA, your comparable market analysis, which is your comps report. Couple clicks in there, bam, bam. You can print that out. And then inside REI Automator, we also put in there, the market data for that area. So under each property in there, there's a report that goes by that area that'll show you all the market statistics, average, days on market, the sold to list ratio, all that good stuff is in there. Print it out. It's 1 page. Put that in there. So you got your comps. You know what your goal target offer is, what your max allowable offer is. You got some market data, right? So your market data and your comps are really going to tell a story. And make sure that you know what they say. All right. You know what the comps are in that area. So when they try to hit you with Frank down the street sold his property for $300,000, and maybe Frank didn't, but you know exactly what Frank sold his property for. You know what the differences are between that property and the seller, the subject property. You know what you're talking about, and that gives you more credibility with the seller, right? So you're new. If you don't have websites and stuff like that, this is the stuff that you need to be using to your advantage starting out. That is going to, even though you don't have a website, stuff like that, related to the seller, that you know what you're doing, you're a professional, and they can feel comfortable doing business with you. Okay. Does that make sense? Let me just double check on here. All right, let me get back up. Okay. So we also do an iPad presentation. I know Sean Terry talks about this all the time. We've created our own. And what we will do is, I will share with you guys one of the ones that we use now. If you want it, if you just email me, which is a huge freaking value add as well. All right, so let me get going here. All right, so you're going to leave that folder behind with the seller, right? I'm not going to get into all the other stuff that we have in there right now, because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter as much for you, right? Like, the goal is for you to go out and make $10,000. Like, I give you too much of this kind of stuff, it is going to hold you up and it's going to build procrastination. All right. Because you're like, oh, well, I'm not ready yet. I don't have all the stuff. I don't have my folder. I don't have like all the credibility stuff made. I don't have business cards yet. Like, I got to do all this stuff. Before you know it, now a month has gone by and you really haven't taken any real action to make money yet. Right. Like, it's all about preparing to take action to make money. I need you taking action to make money. When you get started, all right, everything that you should be doing, all right, is only revenue generating activities. All right, revenue generating activities. So all the action that you're taking is geared towards making money directly. All right, you need to get to your first check or whatever, wherever you are in this business, get to that money as fast as possible. All right, that is going to make it real for you. Then you can reinvest in some of this other stuff and start growing, right? And reinvesting and reinvesting and reinvesting. But revenue generating activities, guys, it's all about going out there and making money as fast as possible when you're at this stage, okay? It's going to make all the difference, I promise you. All right. So let me get going here. You bear with me 1 second. All right. This is kind of going through. All right. Not going to get into some of this other stuff, guys, because, you're not there yet, right? You're not there yet. You don't need some of this info. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. So your appointments, you want to arrive 20 to 25 minutes early to every appointment. All right. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You always want to be early to the neighborhood and to the house. You don't want to show up to the house 20 to 25 minutes early. What you want to do is show up in the neighborhood 25 minutes early, drive the neighborhood really quick, look at your comps, become familiar with those comps that you're looking at. Drive by those comps, all right? And as you are driving by those comps and becoming familiar with what they currently look like right now in person, you're also looking for properties that look like they have deferred maintenance, that are distressed, stuff like that, right? You're going to bring a pack of sticky notes with you, all right? Then if you see any of those properties, you can either if you feel like you're comfortable enough doing it, go over there and knock on the actual door and ask that person if they would consider potentially selling, that you're buying properties in that neighborhood, or sticky note their door saying, hey, will you please give me a call at this number, and then when they call you, ask them about the house. All right, but bring a pack of sticky notes with you. A lot of people do door hangers. I see a lot more success with sticky notes. So just bring a pack of sticky notes with you, write it on there like, hey, will you please give me a call at so-and-so number, stick it on their door. As you're driving the neighborhood, look for those kind of properties. So you're generating you're doing self-lead generation while you're on the way to the appointment, and you're becoming familiar with the comps that you're going to go in there and talk to the seller about. All right. So that's two big benefits of showing up early. And obviously, when you show up early to the seller's house, they're going to greatly appreciate it. And, again, first impressions, guys, first impressions. Okay. So moving on. All right. So what we like to do is we always have logoed polos that we wear. But don't worry about that yet when you get started. All right. Just wear a nice polo, tuck it in, look professional, look clean cut. Don't show up in shorts and flip-flops and ripped shirts and ripped jeans and all that stuff. I'm not hating on that stuff. I wear the stuff, right? But you want to show up as a professional. Okay. So show up, look professional, be at least 5 minutes early to the actual seller's house. Okay. You're going to know the comps and be aware of the parking situation. Some of this is like, you're going to be like, what? Like, you're all about being respectful, right? Like some people are just interesting, a little bit different, right? So be aware of the parking situation. Like don't block anybody in if you can. If the seller is outside as you are pulling up for whatever reason, roll down your window and say, "Hey, Mr. Seller, this is James. Is there anywhere in particular you'd like for me to park or anything like that?" And now you're starting it out on a good note. You're being respectful. You're being professional. Okay. So never park on the grass, by the way. Don't do it. I know this seems like it's common sense, guys. I know it does, but I promise you, I've seen this happen where people have literally just pulled up on someone's front yard and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what happened." It's like, well, you just freaking pulled up in their yard. So I've seen this kind of stuff happen, guys. I know it's common sense, but I just got to say it. Okay. So I just have to say it. When you walk up to the door, all right, when you walk up to the door, you are not going to be facing, once you knock on the door, you ring the doorbell, you're not facing directly at the door. So they open the door and you're right there in their face. Okay. You're not going to do that. You're going to turn around. You're going to knock on the door or ring the doorbell. You're going to turn this way and kind of look out, and then once they open the door and they're already looking out, then you're going to turn around. "Hey, Mr. Seller, this is James. Nice to meet you. We have our appointment," yada, 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 right? So believe it or not, it can intimidate people. They don't know you. They've never met you. Even if you talk to them on the phone, I'm telling you guys, like this is high-level scale sales tactics, and they work. All right? They freaking work. I promise you. All right. So obviously, when you walk into the house, you're looking for something immediately that you can use to build rapport. All right. Find common ground with the seller. As soon as I walk into a house, I'm looking around. I'm like, "Oh, if you got a dog, well, guess what? I love dogs." Right. So, and I truly do love dogs. But even if you don't love dogs, you should love dogs if they love dogs. All right. So people like themselves. All right. Does that make sense? People like themselves. So find something immediately. You're looking around the house. What can I find that I relate to, that we can relate together, and build an instant connection, some rapport, right? And then keep building on that rapport. Okay. Listen to them when they are speaking. Okay. So open your ears. This isn't about really as much about what you say. All right. This is listening to them. Okay. Because they're going to drop tidbits of what their real motivation is. If you haven't got it yet, stuff like that, pay attention. All right. And then if they say something that, you can use later when you're going to make the offer, stuff like that, guys, pay attention to what they are saying. You'd be surprised what they say. And I know for some people it's hard, right? I have some slight ADD myself. So I'm not knocking on anybody that has it, because it's common. I have some. I know a lot of people do. Pay attention to what the seller is saying to you. All right. How they're acting, what they're doing. Pay attention. All right. When you do start uncovering the motivation, all right, be empathetic, be willing to listen, and problem solver. You're going to be a problem solver. All right. Solutions oriented. That's what you're there for. You are there to solve whatever problem they have. All right. It isn't just about buying the house. All right. Buying the house is just the product of solving the problem. All right. You are a problem solver. Understand that. Always be neutral in whatever their situation is. All right. You're not one way or the other. And it's hard because I know I'm opinionated. A lot of people are opinionated, we have what we're standing for, what we stand against. I'm not saying go against your morals or your values or anything else, but be neutral in what their situation is as a problem solver. Okay. Be tolerant, be neutral, be there to help. All right. Be understanding. All right. So we'll talk about some of the personality types really quick. A highly analytical person. Okay. These are the people that are going to love that you're bringing comps and, market data to the appointment, and that you're also showing them how you arrived at the offer. Okay. These are the people that love it. They love the facts and details. They love things that are written out. If you got, and I doubt you would, if you get a highly analytical person to an agreement and you sign a contract with him and you don't have a contract to leave behind for them, that's going to be a problem for them. All right. And not everybody, I know this, not everybody has a scanner or whatever at their house, printer, especially if you deal with a lot of elderly people. Not all of them have that kind of stuff. I'm not trying to beat this dead horse, but guys, I'm telling you, like, I've been around the block. Like, I've seen this happen many, many times where the seller will go to let another appointment happen after you leave, even though they signed a contract, just to see what happens. And they will sign another contract and get a contract left with them. And there you go. Now you have a problem, right? So they will not be responsive if you are not able to show them like real data and why why the offer is the way that it is. Okay. As far as the numbers go, they love timelines and they're typically a little slower to make decisions. All right. The hard driver needs to be in control. They're gonna think fast and they want you to get straight to the point. All right. Don't beat around the bush with them. These are the people that are going to try to tell you that, oh, I don't care about the market data. All right. I don't care about what the comps say. This is just what I want. So when you're dealing with those kind of people, you're always going to have to go in with your offer, even though it's about solving the problem, lower than what your actual max allowable is, which I suggest you do that anyway, but go even a little bit lower, right, than you would normally. Because this person needs to feel like they are winning, like they have just drained every penny out of you that they can get. A hard driver personality is, a salesman, a hard closer at heart, and they need to win, all right, or else the deal will fall apart and it will not work in your favor, just so you know. So they're very assertive. They want you to get right to the point. They are not going to listen, by the way. All right. The hard driver personality is not going to be listening too much of what you're saying. They just want to know what the deal is. So you're going to have to be good at bringing them back around to reality and trying to keep them on track, but also adapting to what makes them tick. All right. What gets them to make decisions. So that goes back also to why you need to be paying attention. All right. So those are and then obviously the social we talked about earlier, enthusiastic, spontaneous. They care about what the neighbors are going to think, what's going on in the neighborhood. Is this going to be detrimental in any kind of way to the neighbors, or what's going, like, they care about other people. They're social people. But the good thing about the social personality is you can usually get them to make decisions fast. Okay. As long as you lay out your case to them properly, you can usually get them to convert fairly easy. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get away from the personality types right now. So during the introduction, the seller is going to ask you where you want to start. Typically, that's usually how it kicks off. After you do that, instant rapport building and, you walk in the house. Hey, Mr. Seller, how are you? You find something to relate to them and start building that rapport. They'll usually ask you, hey, where do you want to start? You tell them you want to start wherever they want to and that you want them to walk the property with you. All right. You don't want to walk the property by yourself and the seller's off doing their own thing for a couple reasons. First reason being, this gives you an opportunity to build more rapport with the seller. You're walking the house with them. You're in their home, their area. So they're going to feel naturally a little bit more comfortable. You're in their space. So use that with that comfort level to keep building more rapport with them as you walk through the property. Also, what this is doing is refreshing their memory of whatever the property needs as far as repairs, updating, stuff like that. Because you're doing your repair sheet, I forgot about telling you that. Repair sheet. Definitely bring a repair sheet. If you don't have one, I can hook you up one. I forgot to tell you about that for what to bring. Even though you're new, you definitely want to bring that because that is going to help you tremendously. Okay, repair sheet. I apologize about that I forgot about the repair sheet. So anyway, you're going to be filling out your repair sheet as you're walking the property with them. That is going to be refreshing their memory of what the property needs while you're building a rapport. You're building a connection with the seller. You're getting to know the seller more and what they actually need, right? So if they try to, some of them will try to, not walk the property with you. What I always like to tell them is like, look, Mr. Seller, like, and I can certainly appreciate that. I just always ask if you don't mind just to walk it with me, just simply because you know the house better than me. Like you're going to know some of this stuff, that might need to be done or might be newly updated. Like I want to know all this. I want to make your offer as accurate as possible. So, let's just do each other a favor. Let's walk it together. That way I can be as accurate as possible and give you the fairest offer. Typically that'll turn them around and they will just go ahead and start walking it with you. Right. So, you're going to be able to build a rapport. It's going to help you a lot. What are you looking for? So I'll go through some of this checklist right here because I know a lot of you that are new, you don't necessarily know what you are looking for, but you are going to walk the property, start as the flow goes, right? Walking the interior, and then I like to go out and walk the exterior. You can start with the exterior if you want, but I prefer doing the interior first. But let's talk about the exterior, what you're looking for. I'm just going to read through some of these checklist items just so you know, but I will share a repair sheet with you as well if you want one. Roof, windows and doors, all right, AC, siding, curb appeal, all right. Curb appeal is important. Damage, any kind of damage, WDO, wood rot, termites, which is WDO is wood destroying organisms. Landscaping, any trees that need to be removed, sod, fence, driveway, chimney, pool equipment, septic or city sewer if main city line goes to the street, sheds or other structures, garage door, porches, entryways. You're going to be looking at all this stuff, seeing what's going on with it, right? And it's all on the repair sheet. So interior, you're looking at flooring, plumbing, electric, the panel, AC handler, paint, kitchen, bathrooms, any kind of damage, fixtures, faucets, fans, lights, ceiling, hot water heater, doors, hardware, door handles, hinges, layout, fireplace. All right. So it goes through on the actual repair sheet and it has pricing and everything like that. It's for our market. In REI Automator, we actually have an integration with Blue Hammer, which goes into every market and pulls average labor and material costs for your particular market. So if you have REI Automator, you can go in there and pull pricing to update the repair sheet to whatever the prices are in your market. All right, which will help you a lot because you'll be very accurate with your numbers. All right, let's keep going. So also, guys, make sure you are taking notes. Once I get to the end of these challenges, I think I'm going to probably do 4 parts. Once I get to the end of those, I am going to take these down. So make sure you are taking notes. That way you can actually win this freaking challenge, hit the $10,000. All right. So once you go through the house, you go through the repair sheet with the seller. It comes time, you know what your numbers are. You're going to take your actual repair costs now. You came with your goal target, your max allowable. You're going to, adjust those numbers for any additional repairs that are needed. All right. And now the $1 million question is going to be coming, right? So once you go through there, at this point, you should have already uncovered the motivation. You should know where they want to live, move, what they want to see happen. So I always like to ask them. At the end of the day, and sorry, I'm just reading through my notes to make sure I'm accurate on this. At the end of the day, what is your ultimate goal and ideal scenario? All right. That's how I like to start it out. It's about them. You're always making it about them. It is never about you. It is never about what's in it for you or, how you can buy the house. It's always benefit. It's all about the benefit to them and you helping them. That is why we make so much money. All right. That is why there's so much money in this business, because you are solving problems. Okay. So that's what I always like to ask them. Even if they've already told me what their ultimate motivation is, I like to reiterate it. Tell me again. All right. What is your ideal scenario for this house? All right. For selling this house, what would you like to see happen? How could I make you extremely happy? And what you will find, all right, that is very much will surprise you is your initial thought is, oh, well, the seller's probably going to say, oh, my ideal scenario is to make $1 million on this house. 8 times out of 10, it will be, oh, well, if I could do this or if this would happen, right? You'll be surprised. It's not always about the price, guys. It's not always about the price. It's us, all right, that typically makes it about the price because a lot of us don't understand sales. So we naturally think, oh, well, all this is like, can we pay this much for it? Will they take this much for it? That's what this business is. So we just got to go out, get properties at a huge discount, sell it to a cash buyer, make the money. No, we're solving problems. We're figuring out what the seller really needs. And this is what separates the people that do a deal a month or 2 deals a month from the people that do 15 and 20 deals a month. All right. This is the stuff that separates the two. All right. So your offer is going to be based around how they answer that question. All right. It's going to be based around what they say. All right. Whatever it is that they say is their ideal scenario, you are going to try to come as close as possible within reason to being a problem solver and giving them what they are looking for. The price will be secondary to that. Yes, Mr. Seller. So at the end of the day, we know what the comps are. We know what's going on. You know how much work the property needs or updates it needs. I know it's subjective, but we know the area really well. We know what we need to put in these properties to maximize, our profit and the neighborhood and bring the value up in the neighborhood. So at the end of the day, the price is secondary. So what you're saying is if we could do this and help you. So what if we did this and we went out, we help you find this other property. We give you a little bit more time to stay. We can close whenever you want to close. So if you need a little bit more time for that, that's fine. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to pay this much, yada, yada. So you just graze over that. Right? Like the price is secondary. You solve the problem, get into the price, and you're just going through it, right? You're assuming that the price is not an issue and that they're moving forward. So the common problem I see, especially with newer wholesalers, is they make it about the price. Everything is about the price. Making the offer is all about the price. They'll literally make the offer and it'll even be on their face that they're like, oh, I feel like this is really low. I don't think they're going to take it. If you're not confident in the way that you're presenting the offer and that the seller should accept that offer, then why would they or why should they, right? So they're going to look at you right in the eyes when you're presenting them with what the offer is and trying to move forward. And guess what? If you're not confident in it, they will see it. If you feel like they shouldn't take it, for whatever reason, which wouldn't make any sense to me, when you're newer, I know it's, it can be intimidating, right? So that's why I'm giving you these tools and strategies so you can go in there and be confident. If you're not confident in these appointments, guys, guess what? This isn't going to work. Right? You got to be confident. You got to go in there, command authority. You know what you're talking about. You're professional. You are there to help. You are bringing a ton of value and you're confident about it. You understand that. And that will translate over to the seller if you will exude that confidence. All right. So yeah, you're there to solve the problem. Buying the house is just a product of providing a solution to that problem. Period. That's it. All right, so you're going to get, obviously, all right, so let's see. All right, so if you can get the offer accepted, set expectations, all right, which I know you can get the offer accepted. Set the expectation with the seller of what's going to happen, what the process looks like from the very beginning. Say, all right, Mr. Seller, so I'm going to leave here. You got your copy of the contract. I have mine. I am going to go turn this into the title company. We're going to start the title process, pulling title, getting everything ready for closing. So you can expect to hear from the title company. They will be contacting you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Set the expectations with the seller of what's going to happen so they know what's going on. It'll prevent a lot of follow-up back from them, and then also give them a level of comfort, right? All right. Okay. So what you got to make sure of, guys, let me pull this back up. All right, bear with me 1 minute. All right, so you're going to run into some objections, right? It's inevitable. And this is what I want to do. All right, so I feel like I gave you a lot of info already on this one, okay? And I really want to do 4 parts. I don't want to overwhelm you with every one of these. I want you to be taking action. I like 4 parts because that's giving you basically, since we missed the week for the 4th of July, that's giving you 5 weeks to really start taking action and seeing some results from, doing this. Okay. So what I would like to do is I'll probably, cut it here for today. And then the next one, we'll get into what happens during the offer. And when you get objections, we'll start going into how to overcome some of those objections. All right. And then what the process looks like, actually getting title started, getting that going. And then we'll get into actually going out there, finding the buyer and getting the deal closed. All right. So guys, please drop me a like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications. If you haven't yet got REI Automator, guys, we just dropped some big updates for Offer Automator. More updates are coming. We're building all kinds of stuff in there right now. So we're actually about to release a huge new feature that's going to be a game changer. You get the training with Sean Terry and I. We're still doing the 30% off. It is about to go away, though. All right, 30% off is about to go away. You can use code FLIPBAM, all right, at getfmhnow.com to get REI Automator. It is a smoking deal. So guys, get in there before the price goes up. And we start dropping these new features. And obviously we're going to have to increase the price because our costs are increasing to release this stuff and to do this. Okay. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't yet, go back and watch the first challenge training. All right. Take notes on that. Take notes on this one. Start taking action. Don't just watch this and not do anything. All right. I am trying to give you what you need to go out there and actually make some money. All right. To actually go out there and do this. Guys, I'm not trying to get into a rant about it. This business has changed my life and I've reached a certain level of success. And, again, I want to give you guys value. All right. I truly, truly care about you guys and want to see you be successful. And I really, really mean that. All right. I seriously mean that, guys. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. I'm being dead serious with you. I want to provide value and I want to see you guys be successful. So take this training and do something with it. Take action. All right. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. Go out there and do it. All right. Don't procrastinate. I'm not trying to go super, super in depth and super, super high level on this stuff, which I can. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't even begun to talk about or scratch the surface on all the stuff that we already talked about. I could go so much deeper on all this stuff, guys. All right. I'm trying to give you what exactly you need to actually go out there and make money as fast as possible and don't get stuck procrastinating. That is the point of this. Okay. So go out there, start taking action. I want to fly you here to Miami. The person that comes to me and proves to me that you made $10,000, all right, from watching this training, I'm flying you here to Miami. I'm going to have dinner with you, take you out, and I'm going to help you build a business plan, all right, based on your goals, what the lifestyle you want to have, what you want to achieve. That's what it's going to be based around, guys. I'm going to help you map out a business plan for you to go out there and attack this business. All right. So I love you guys. make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop me a like, turn on notifications. We will be here next Thursday at 5 Eastern to keep going, to keep helping you guys push this thing forward and go out there and do some deals. And if you're not in REI Automator, guys, the link will be down below with the code to get 30% off. I will see you guys on the next one. I love you. Thank you. Go out there. Let's do some freaking deals, guys. I will see you on the next one. Bye.